this is what she looks like. Ooh, that's kind of cool. It's like a picture in a picture. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I just filmed this eye look and I used the Paris palette from BH Cosmetics. That video will be up before this video, in which I am trying the new, I think, newly formulated Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation. And I have had this before, like I mentioned in my eye tutorial video. I got the shade 26N Light Medium Neutral. This may be a little bit dark for me right at the moment because I scrubbed off all my self-tanner and I haven't put it back on, but I basically got this as a summer shade. But if I like it, I'll go back and I'll get something lighter for winter. But this is supposed to be a soft matte, full coverage, 16-hour wear foundation. And normally that's not really my thing, but I wanted to try it because I think everybody should have like a variety of foundations in their arsenal, depending on, you know, what they're going to be doing, where they're going, what kind of weather you're having, that sort of thing. I just think it's nice to have a variety of finishes and coverage levels and that sort of thing. So I'm going to give this a try. I don't remember what I thought of it. I still have my first one, and it's got to be a decade old if it's a day. So I don't wear it, but I do keep things like that. I don't know why. I really shouldn't. But we're going to try this. Also, I picked up something to put on underneath it because this is a soft matte foundation, and that's not my favorite kind of. I like something that's more of a natural or satin finish. But even though, and I hesitate to mention this because Becca is going out of business sometime this fall, I think, but I was able to get my hands on the Becca Light Shifter, and this is the lightest shade. Now this is supposed to be, it says it's a dewing tint. So I think this is one of those things that you can wear by itself. Now, I'm not a big fan of that kind of thing on its own. I like satin or natural finish, but I don't like to be overly dewy or shiny or shimmery or any of that stuff. But I bought this because I wanted to put this on before I put this matte foundation on, just to see what would happen. That may not be the fairest of tests for the foundation, but I am going to be wearing it today and cleaning house and probably sweating, and so we'll see how well these products perform together. But I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of that on, the dewing tint, and we're going to see. But initially, when I put this on the back of my hand, I was like, this is very much like the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless, Hollywood Flawless filter. I think that's what it's called, which I really like. Although I have so far only really worn it as like a really light highlighter on my cheeks, like a really natural highlighter, and I do really love it for that. But I have not yet worn it all over my face. Now I did have moisturizer on. I used the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream today because, again, foundations like this can be a little dry looking on me, and I have pretty normal, a little bit dry on occasion skin, so I don't fight with the oils and stuff. I wanted to see what this did. I figure, well, if it's dewy, that will help. So that's pretty. I mean, it's a very pretty glow. I would not wear this all by itself, just because I don't like the shine in certain places, like especially around my pores and my nose and stuff. But it is lovely. If you like that kind of thing and you don't worry about texture or that kind of stuff, then if you can get your hands on this would be nice. Now, I've not worn this. This is a first impressions, but it feels very moisturizing. It's tacky. I don't know if this sets down. I suspect that it does, because I first heard about this from Angelica, who I mention all the time on my channel. It sounds like I'm being a stalker or something, and I'm really not. It's just that I'll watch all of her videos, and I don't have time to watch everybody's videos, but I always make time for hers. And this is one of her favorites as far as like a tint. So I've got that worked into my face. I do not have sunscreen on today, not for any particular reason other than I am not going anywhere, and so I just forewent it. That's not a word, I don't think, but I decided not to put any of that on. But we're just going to go ahead and go with it. We'll see what we get. I think this is quite a thick foundation, if I remember right. And let's see. Yeah, that's thick for sure. So I'm just going to take a little bit. That may be too much, may not be enough. We shall see. I'm going to grab a foundation brush. This is an IT Cosmetics one. And you can tell, even just looking at it on the back of my hand, that it is not glossy like a liquid foundation is sometimes. It has almost a kind of a moussey texture. I don't know if you can see that, but that's all right. We're gonna go in, and like I say, this may be a little bit dark for me, but maybe not. And I don't feel like the skin tint stuff really altered my skin tone too terribly much, maybe just a little bit. And I do have a sponge here, and I will go over this with my sponge because I almost always do that. I'm not a fan of buffing my foundation. I just find that it tends to raise little flakes on my skin and that kind of stuff. So I tend to stipple and make like little tiny sweeping motions, and that's about the extent of it. I do try to push it into the side of my nose, or into my nose in general. I basically used everything I put on the back of my hand, except for whatever's in my brush here, but there's not really anything left on the back of my hand. That looks like a perfect shade match for me right now. So I'm kind of happy about that. Which is, in a way, I wish it was just a little bit darker, only because I had planned to try this again tomorrow. And like I say, I plan to do some self-tanning, but you know, we'll bronze it up. Speaking of bronzers, I picked up the Juvia's Place Bronzing Duo in the light colorway because I found it. And so I like the medium one, but it is a little bit intense for me. I was excited to find the light one, so I'm going to try that today too. So I feel like that Becca light shifter is definitely like coming through, either mixing with or just like creating like a glow from underneath. I'm not sure which. I think I'm going to use the Urban Decay Naked Skin concealer. This is not the color's okay, but I keep using it. Not so much because of the color, but just because, you know, it seems to work nicely with a lot of things. It's one of my favorites. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that on because I don't feel like I have too terribly much to cover up, but I want a little something there. And I did bring it the foundation pretty far up under my eyes, so I don't really feel like I need too terribly much. Pat that out with my fingertips to make sure it's nice and, you know, pushed in, and any excesses lifted up and stuff. And then I'm going to go in with my sponge and go over my whole face. All right, let's have a peek here. I mean, it's definitely full coverage. I feel like, or darn near as full as I care to have anything. I can still see like my little sunspot coming through right there and a couple little freckles on my forehead, that kind of thing. I'm okay with that. And it definitely, I mean, it looks like makeup. It does. It's a full coverage foundation. You're not going to get full coverage with any kind of undetectable type of, you know, effect. I mean, it's just not, that's just not how makeup works. Makeup is makeup. If you wear it, it's going to look like you're wearing makeup. If you don't want to look like you're wearing makeup, then don't wear makeup. That's all I got to say about it. But this feels nice. Feels nice. It's still a little tacky. I'm going to give it a minute to dry down a touch. Let's go ahead and powder my under eyes real quick. This is just the NARS crystal powder. Minimal powder under there. I'm going to go ahead and powder just the tiniest bit, just because I really want to be able to blend the bronzer and so forth over my foundation without any issues. Now I don't know that I would have any issues, but I am so close to being out of my, it's like a challenge to get this out. But I don't want to have any issues blending my bronzer and stuff over my foundation. So I'm gonna powder in the T-zone a little bit more and then just move a little bit of that product out along the perimeter of my face. I'm gonna go ahead and break into my new Juvia's Place bronzer. This is the light one. This is what she looks like. We'll start with the dark one, because why not? And I'm just going to put this in the places that I usually put my bronzer. The top color is lighter and it also looks a little more cool. A little more cool toned, which I think I will really enjoy in the cooler months when I am more fair. And I tend to embrace my fairness a little bit more. But for right now, you know how it is. In the summer, you want the glowy stuff, and I'm no different than anybody else. Glowy and bronzy and like you've been on the beach somewhere having a cocktail, which hopefully people are doing. I'm not, but that's okay. I'm not much of a, like, I just want to look like I've been laying on the beach. I don't want to actually go lay on the beach. So I feel like that's really nice, and I do like that shade, or those shades, more than the other one. I also picked up a blush from Kylie Cosmetics, which I know is doing like a rebranding or something or other. I don't know. I've never bought anything from Kylie Cosmetics at all, but I picked up one of the blushes. This is Kitten Baby, and they had I think all the Kylie stuff on sale for half price, and which was kind of cool because, you know, I've been wanting to try it, but I was like, I don't know, do I want to try it bad enough to pay, you know, $30 or whatever it is normally? I don't even remember how much it is, but I'm just going to pick this up on a little flimsy type of brush. And I totally could have gone with something a little more pinky, but I wanted to try this, so, you know, maybe not the ideal color combination, but I don't care. That's nice. That's really nice. I think this is one of those blushes that Taylor Wynn really likes. I think that's where I heard about it originally. So that's really nice. I'm liking the way everything is coming together. I'm going to go ahead and finish off my face, my eyes, all that good stuff, and I'll come back and we'll kind of check in on this foundation combination, really, and see how it's doing, and I will give you a few final thoughts, and I will be right back. All right, I'm back. I've got the rest of my face on, and I'm super happy with how everything turned out. The Paris palette from BH Cosmetics is gorgeous. It's really gorgeous, and I will definitely link the video where I put this on my eyeballs up above, but super pretty. This foundation and these foundations, I could put this under a Mix It Monday, honestly. I think they're really nice together. Now, it definitely looks like I'm wearing makeup. If I had it to do over again, because this seems to sort of set down and be that sort of moussey matte texture, I might go in a little more carefully around like my problem areas around my nose and my mouth, because it did settle, or it is settling just a little bit around my mouth, which is not unusual, and that's usually why I go over things with a sponge. But it's not settling anywhere else in any kind of like unattractive way. Like I say, this is full coverage, and so it's going to look like you have makeup on, which you do. But I'm happy with it, and I like the bit of luminosity, I guess for lack of a better word, that the Becca light shifter seemed to add underneath this. It would be kind of interesting to mix them together as well and see if that alters it at all. I definitely am going to play with this on its own or just over my standard moisturizer sunscreen combinations. But I thought, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and do all the things today. But I feel like it looks really nice. Overall, I really, so far, like this foundation or this combination of products quite a bit. I am kind of interested to see how this wears over the course of the day. I will put an update in the description box, and maybe, depending on how nasty I feel after I clean my house, I might come back and do like one on camera. But for sure, I will do one down below in the description box, let you know kind of how things ended up shaking out. So far, I think it looks really nice. The color that I got, 26N, yes, 26N, I think is really pretty good for me right now. It's maybe a tiny bit dark for a summer but no self-tanner on kind of shade, maybe just a touch. So I'm thinking that it will work when I have some tanner on. If not, I'll just mix in a little bit of like the number 7 drops to deepen it a little bit, or just bronze a little bit more. Incidentally, the bronzer and the blush I both like. I think everything turned out really nice today. In my video that I did for my eyeshadow palette, I mentioned a couple of things that are going to be coming up on my channel. The LA Girl Hey Hey Vacay palette, which is super pretty. And I got a couple of other Super Shock shadows from ColourPop. I placed an order from ColourPop to get the Cherry Crush and the Lush palettes, and so all kinds of good stuff coming up. I've got a couple of other foundations that I am excited to try. I picked up a new color of the Urban Decay Naked Skin, which I love this foundation, and I wanted to get like a summer color, so I picked that up recently. I think that's going to do it for today, guys. Again, check below in the description box for an update on the final sort of wear assessment of this foundation or these two products together on my face today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time here. I hope you know that. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it while you were watching. If you like to see foundation try-ons, more dramatic, colorful eye looks on somebody that's a little bit more mature, somebody that's got normal to dry skin, got a few, wrinkles and things like that, then I think you might be in the right place, and I encourage you to subscribe. Until my next video, bye guys.